I feel like a lot of times we open up too soon. You know, it's like that guy that told every girlfriend he had he loved her, you know, within 2 weeks. No, you don't, bro. You really don't, you know.
You can't talk about men, you can't talk about man, and you can't talk about ManCave without making sure that you understand that men need brothers. I'll never forget 2003, I pledged in a fraternity in my undergrad, and I was online with 11 other gentlemen that I have known somewhat. But after that experience, there was a brotherhood. There was a sense that this person had my back. And I think more than anything, in this season of our lives, and just throughout life, we are not designed to do life by ourselves. We're not designed to just do what we want and not have accountability, not have people in our corner, not have encouragement, not have people around us that are for us. And I want to talk about today, man plus brotherhood. I believe that every man needs to have someone, whether it is a biological brother or a spiritual brother or some type of friend that you know in your life that, hey man, you're not just a friend to me, you're not just an acquaintance, and you're a brother. We've been through some things. And the scripture for us is Proverbs 17:7. It says, a friend is always loyal, and a brother is born to help in time of need. I want to talk about brotherhood. Why do men need other men in their lives?
Man, I've just experienced a brotherhood where when adverse times come, I know that, hey, I can call so-and-so, I can call and they'll be there for me.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important, especially in this season, to have somebody that's going to have your back regardless of the situation, without judgment. But they'll also tell you the truth in the matter. They'll always say, hey, you messed up, but I'm still going to help you out because you're my brother. It's almost like God seeing us through the blood. It's almost it's that type of bond. It's that type of love that is created. And for me, I know I can trust you with my family if we've been through something. A relationship is not true until it's tried. Even if there's disagreements, even if there's arguments, even if there's a challenge, at the end of the day, I still know that when I need something, if there's an emergency, or if there's some information that I know you have, that a brotherhood or somebody that I can count on, I'm gonna tap.
Yeah, so tell me this, why do men resist brotherhood, resist friendships? Why would, I mean, because I counsel people, I talk with people and say, hey man, do you have, somebody in your corner in your life? Nah, you know what I'm saying? Why is there this skepticism? Why is there this, why are we like that? Why are we wired like that? Anybody want to take a step?
I think it's born out of, we have this S on our chest, that we feel that we can do things on this island by ourselves. But the reality is no one can survive like that. No one can survive like that. And I think it's a level of pride that allows us to kind of walk in these silos and walk on these lonely roads and these journeys alone, when we could have somebody of a wisdom of a Moody.
So do you think it's a thing centered around fatherhood though? Like I hear that a lot, where this lack of trust in other men is developed, in the shadows of a lack of fathering, or, not having a father in your life, or just have seen bad examples of men, and or there's been abusive situations where a young man has seen his father or a father figure be abusive toward his mother, so he resists any level, right, of any man who's older or even his age, but seems to be a little bit more mature than he is. He resists that type of relationship.
I think it's some of that, and I also believe that some of it is betrayal. I think that there are guys that have felt a sense of betrayal, regardless of whether that's what it was, that's what you felt. Betrayal when I told a friend of mine something and he told his wife, and then it got back to my wife, but that was my friend. I trusted this, like I know pastor friends of mine that trusted other ministers in their church and raised them up for that guy to just steal members and go and start a church. And so they never appointed another assistant pastor. They never brought anybody up. Still to this day, I'm not having it. I'm the head pastor. I'm not going to do that. There were guys that, had an idea and they brought other men in, and then that guy took the idea because they had the money to fund it and stole the business. And so for some guys, I think once you've been burned on whatever level it is, it's like, I'm cool. I'm not going to talk to anybody about it, because if I do, they're going to do the same thing so-and-so did.
Well, let's talk about that though. I mean, why do you feel as though betrayal is so pervasive, if that's an idea, pervasive among men? That it's like, is it envy? Is it a lack of maturity? Is it just our own greed? I mean, what is it that causes people to betray each other?
I think it could be envy, but when it comes to certain business aspects, and Mark, you're an entrepreneur, a lot of us do entrepreneurship, it is, if I don't have to do, and even when it comes to another guy, still another guy's wife, I don't have to plow in that field. I can just go reap the harvest. You've already done the work. So, and I see how well it's working out for you, whether it's business or whatever, then I come over and say, let's partner together. And then the next thing I know, you've taken the business. So I think some of it is envy, but a lot of it is people don't want to work for nothing. So they'll come over and act like they're going to be cool with you for whatever the reason is. They're getting it to, well, it was a movie I was watching, and there was a guy, it was Lone Star 911, a TV show. And this fire chief, that used to be a fire chief, he wanted that particular firehouse. So he stroked the ego of the fire chief to make him feel like, we're cool, you can tell me your secrets. Yeah, and they were doing it, and then the next thing you know, he reported him to Central Command in order for him to move in and get that. And I think sometimes people have ulterior motives. So they come in your life, and we've been betrayed, so we peeping game. And you may not mean it, but it's like, yeah, the way he coming at me is the same way old boy did. So you know what? I'm gonna shut this down real quick. We good. I don't need you to come back no more.
I feel like betrayal is a part of life. It's like Jesus and his circle, his 12. Like Judas end up betraying him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like I feel like at certain point, at a certain season, a certain moment, there are gonna be people that are called to your life that will betray you. And there are people who are called for a season, who get frustrated in a moment, who get reckless in a moment, and they betray. And the fact is, I think sometimes it's the self-examinations that say we betrayed people before.
Right.
We're always the heroes in our own story. Like,
we're the victim.
Something like that.
You betrayed me. Yeah. No, you betrayed somebody too. And I think for me, brotherhood or friendship was something like, my older brother, I wanted to be him. I didn't want to, I wanted to be like him growing up. And then because of sports, I wanted to be competitive, right? But for some reason, I wasn't competitive with the people on my team. We worked together. So I've always had this thing where whoever it is, I have this competitive nature, and maybe that's a part of it. You know what I mean?
Sometimes even as Christians, we tend to feel like we have to give everybody equal access because we're taught to love everybody.
Wow.
But loving everybody doesn't mean that I give everybody that certain kind of access. And so everybody is valuable, but I treat people differently depending on what that relationship is with my life. So I don't give everybody just open access because I'm a Christian and I have love in my heart. That's foolish. That's not wise. So I think we have to be a little bit more careful even about how we choose to call someone a brother or how we choose to call someone a friend. You know, I have like different categories of people.
Yeah.
You know, I have this one friend named Jared that we knew each other when we were like 1 and 2 years old. We still talk to each other. I've got friends that I've had for 26 years that I met in high school. When I go back to Alabama, they're the first 3 guys that I find because those guys knew me when I had nothing to offer. There was no trade-off. We just liked each other because we liked each other. And so 26 years later, those are friends. Then you get older though, and you have friends that have common interests. And like even with the 4 of us and other people in our life. But I feel like a lot of times we open up too soon and we open up, you know, it's like that guy that told every girlfriend he had he loved her, you know, within 2 weeks. No, you don't, bro. You really don't, you know. But so it's like, I feel like we got to give ourselves permission to give things some time. And sometimes someone is an acquaintance.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're a business associate.
Yeah.
But not everybody you work with has to be your friend.
Yeah.
You know,
I have a cousin, right, named Chris, and we came up in school together. And when I go to the crib, like lately, when I went for this last funeral, the oldest living relative in our family passed away. And it was his grandmother, but she raised him like a mom. I went to see him on the strength of our relationship, right? Like, we're super cool. I'll tell him whatever, he tell him whatever. I spend money, he spend money, we go to lunch or whatever, we do dinner, and that's my dude. I will tell anything, I trust him. I've never heard anything come back to me that I said to him and vice versa, right? But then, like, I may talk to you or Keith or other men, but I would never divulge certain stuff that I would to him, to you guys. And a lot of it is because I don't know if I'm gonna be judged on that. Like, it's certain stuff that I may have done or said in my life that you feel like, yeah, if I tell somebody that, you know, I need an answer or, you know, I need some help, but they gonna judge me if I talk to them about that. Yeah. So you keep.
And I think it goes to that level of discernment.
And discretion.
And discretion, because as Mark was sharing, I mean, you can't allow people that front row access into your life, and you sense something, you vibe something, but you open that up, and then there's a betrayal. But then how do we respond to that betrayal? If they had a moment or a time where they were struggling or whatever was going on with them internally, and how do we respond to that? Let's say that we were boys for 20 years or 10 years, and you could trust them with your family. You could trust, but they had a moment of betrayal. How do we respond to that? How do we?
I think there's some things that you can't come back from. And then I think that there are some things that you can come back from.
Yeah.
I think everything you can forgive somebody.
Right.
But there are certain things that a person will do. That is unrepairable. Yeah. We're not coming back from. I'm talking about when you let greed in, when you let lust in. Like, these are the types of things. If you know, my wife, you know, or hurt my kids or something like that. Those are certain things that, I'm gonna tell you straight up, we ain't friends no more.
And the difference is the posture of your heart, because you can say, I forgive you. Every day I'm not getting up bitter. Every day I'm not thinking about, hey, I want this person to die. Right. That's a posture of your heart. But then the other side says, but we're not going to be friends anymore. Yeah. Right. That's where you still say, look, biblically, I love you. I forgave you. We're good. We're just not going to be friends. I don't think.
There are times when it's not only salvageable, but then it can come back to a place. And I'm not saying all the time.
No, but people got to do the work. People are not willing to do the work. People are not willing to get beyond their pride to actually say, yo, man, let's talk through this. Yeah. Hey, man, hey, we can't do this.
The pain of it.
Let's talk through this, because that is the part. And that's where I feel like no matter what, if we go back to that whole scripture centered around man plus, it is making every effort to add. You have to make the effort to say, hey, sometimes it's okay to go to that person and say, hey, man, can I talk to you about that? I know you will never come to me about it. I know you'll never address it. I know you will go on with life like it never happened. But I can't go on with life acting like it never happened.
Yeah.
So here's the thing that I want to say to you. Are you a loyal friend? Are you a friend that will stick with someone in the highs and lows? Scandal or no scandal? Will you be, that's a tough one. It is, will you still be my friend? And here's the thing, and a brother is born to help in a time of need. That word born simply means it's not a woman conceiving a child. It is to arrive. A brother will arrive to help in a time of need. And guess what? We can all look back through seasons and moments in our lives where people have showed up in our lives, showed up when we were in the 6th grade, showed up, when we were growing up, showed up in this season of our lives. You have to really pay attention to the people that God sends in your life. And sometimes we overlook who we think should be in our lives over the very people that God has called into our lives. And so I want to encourage you today is to not just seek out, watch this, seeking out brotherhood. I want you to become a brother to someone. I want you to become that loyal friend. Instead of expecting it from other people, become it to other people. And that's how you build great friendships, great brotherhood. So thank you again for joining us for ManCave Plus Brotherhood. I want to let you know that if there's anything that you may be going through, struggling with, need prayer for, you can join our Facebook group. Also, please, if you have any prayer requests or something that you want us to touch and agree with you about, you can definitely send those prayer requests into prayerrequests@tphnd.org. Man, we would love to connect with you. We want you to be a better man. And guess what? No matter what you're facing, no matter what you're going through in life, I believe that this is going to be your greatest season. This is going to be your comeback season. So join us at ManCave.